Hello, internet world. Today on the Salonpreneur magazine, the podcast, I am joined by the wonderful, lovely Theresa Foddering, aka the Naildresser, aka Saviour Nails, and who also is collaborative columnist for the magazine. So, Theresa, we're talking today about the October edition, autumn edition, and your great article in there actually, all about whether you're influencer or expert and why our industry must learn the difference fast. Now, you and I have many a conversation around this subject and about the fact that we have a lot of influencers who some are great, but some maybe aren't so great and maybe don't have the ammunition to back it up. And I feel that most of what you write about is kind of around that subject. It's just trying to help people spot who the people to follow that are worth following and putting your money behind.
Well, do you know what? I'd probably be a millionaire if I actually knew the exact answer to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't profess to know these things, or don't profess to be an influencer, which makes me very uncomfortable when people say that I am.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a
I
good
think I'd
place,
like
is
to
it?
think I'm like an influencer of critical thinking. I think that's my favorite thing is to make, and any article that I write, especially for you guys, is that like if I can instill a little bit of critical thinking, take you out of what you're looking at, think about it for yourself and make your own decisions, then I am happy. If you want to go down the route of believing what you see, everyone's entitled to believe whatever they want to believe. Um, but if you've made that decision yourself versus being brainwashed into it, being forced
Mhm.
because that's the trend. I don't, do you know what? It's a really perfect timing for us talking about this today because the trend online at the moment is to release a statement making an
I saw
apology.
I saw that this. I was like, what is that? Now, anybody that knows me, and you know this very much because I was even saying this before we came on to this recording, is I really don't like Instagram very much. But I'm seeing it on Facebook as well, and I just find this whole side of social media to just be so unnecessary.
Drowning is what it is. It's
Yeah.
drowning. But I think yeah, so if anyone hasn't seen it, I think if you're sat watching this on Instagram right now, then you've seen an apology letter, which has then gone, oh God, I've got to read that because you're invested. Sucked you right in. Like it did exactly what it said on the tin, and now you're almost being poo-pooed if you didn't join the trend to follow the statement that
Immediately.
everyone else has and actually I've stopped reading anyone's state. If you're reading, sorry if you've released a statement since this, I haven't read it. Because if I know your product's good, I don't need you to trick me into thinking that you've effed up for me to then read what I already know about your wonderful products or business or it just
Yeah.
the whole thing.
It's literally just it's massive clickbait.
It's just doom scrolling. It's just taking up too much time, I think. And I fall victim to that. And that's why I tend to be quite so vocal with my articles is that I will happily say what I know you're all thinking and struggling, and let's talk about it and let's
Yeah.
move on. Um, yeah, I think it's damaging. I love social media. I run a business on social media. Like this is really important. I think it's great that we're so connected, but it needs to come with a warning label, doesn't it? A little
Yeah,
bit.
massively. And I think as well is, we know no matter how much all the social media platforms try and deny that they're listening to us. I even nowadays, I even have thoughts in my head that I haven't said out loud that then appear in my algorithm. And it's like, and when you
Clever.
start, how does that, sorry, I've got dogs wandering around everywhere today. But when that starts happening, as soon as we have to remember, as soon as we slow down. So if we don't continually do that, we have to slow down to read things. So like now, if I see like there's certain things, if I see an image that I don't want to ever have again on my feed, I have to scroll past it really quickly. And I think if we when we stop on these things like the statement of like the apology statements, all we're doing is just feeding the monster. And to me, it just makes me uncomfortable that
Mm.
we are falling down these holes all the time
Well, you're
and
being influenced.
believing
Yeah, you're being
the wrong
influenced.
things.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can't
I mean,
remember
like,
who
there
it
is a
was. I don't even know whose apology statement it was that I saw. It was
I've
someone
seen
in the
loads.
industry, and I was like, "Why are you? Oh my God, what have you done?" And I was really worried for them.
But then there's also an element that you're saying that's great because I know you and I know that you're saying like you're worried for that business. Like if I
Yeah.
release an apology statement, you'll be going, oh God, Trader, is
Yeah,
everything
what's
okay?
happened?
But actually, there are some people who it's human nature, right? That we almost don't
Popcorn.
want to see people doing too well.
No.
I mean, you and I aren't like that, but like, yeah, there are people out there that relish in that, and that's actually fed onto that. That's human nature to have been sucked in by that. And then that kind of leads me on to the probably the reason why I wrote that article, because in my sector of the industry, we had several influencers who were very vocal and entitled to their opinion as to what they believed was good work or bad work or should be done like this, should not be done like that. Um, and because they were so brutal with that delivery, it got weight behind it and it got everywhere and it got big and it got very targeted and it got quite ugly.
Yeah.
And enough is enough. I just don't want to enable that. I think you need to see where some of this, some people are just making a living out of influencing, and that's great. Like it's a job title now. Like kids can be,
Yeah.
what do you want to be when you're older? I want to be an influencer. Um, but are you actually wanting to be an influencer with purpose?
Yeah.
So actually now I cringe at being called an influencer because
And I think also is that we have to bear in mind, like, what the definition of an influencer is, and do we actually want, is it actually is it a job role? Surely all that is just, so much of the time influencers are supported by businesses who want them to be promoting their products and so on.
well,
And
yeah,
then
because again,
all you are is like an online business development manager, really.
yeah, because again, there's brand bias and then
Hmm.
there's brand influencer. And
Yeah.
I would probably say back in the day, I'm proper old school. The brand that I work with, we won't name, but the brand that I work with, I got that position because I championed them.
Yeah.
It was, oh my God, Teresa uses it, it must be good. It
Yeah.
was genuine.
Yeah.
And I was showing it off and I wanted everyone to use it because, oh my God, this is good. And I'm still like that now.
Yeah.
And I still, if there is a brand influencer, that's how I view a position. So if I ever launch some campaign to have an influencer within my brand, that is what I'll be looking for. Not someone who has a big audience, someone that can just say, I use this when they don't really.
Mm.
Um, and so that again, like I said, that was the premise of me writing that because it's infuriating now. And actually, when you have like people recommend, don't they? Like, oh, what does everyone use for this? Now people go, but if you've got a code or if you are this or if you are that, I don't want to hear from you. Well, so now my voice is being silenced, but trust me, I'm someone who would be recommending something with genuine
Yeah.
core values. Um, and yeah, so yeah,
It's like, I mean, I do. If like for recommendations and stuff, I've got posts in my notes on my phone where I've got certain brands for certain parts of the skills that I've used over the years, whether that be in like the more beauty side or in the nail side or the tech side, whatever. But I've got go-to recommendations that I just give out because I know, like, and trust those brands and I know they deliver.
yeah.
And it
I,
isn't because, it's like I've got an affiliate when I had Jenna sponsoring the podcast for me, and I had an affiliate code and I have given it out, but I don't really care whether people use it or don't use it because it isn't about that. It's I know that what they do is they're offering something really different and
yeah,
really good that supports the industry.
I have codes for many brands that or businesses that I recommend. And now I found myself, it's quite sad, and I'm saying it out loud, which is probably the first time I've said it. I now actively now say I don't earn anything from this code.
Yeah,
Like, why am I well, A, probably shouldn't I be because I am championing that brand and that brand wants to
yeah,
thank me. But actually, I'm not that person. Like, I'm recommending it with genuine purpose. So when I do request, if I've ever been given or offered codes from anybody, I actually say, I don't want paying in return. Like, I
yeah,
don't want anything. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, no, I don't want anything because my recommendation is valid. But I'm rare. I'm rare and I'm old
yeah,
school, and that don't
yeah.
exist anymore. Whilst you were talking, I Googled what the term of an influencer actually means. And it's a person, well, there's two terms, a person or thing that influences another, obviously.
Mm, yeah.
A person who has become well known through their regular social media posts and is able to promote a product by recommending it online.
So it's actually in the dictionary as that now.
Yeah. Sad, right? So
I
I
do think
think,
it is, because the thing is as well is it kind of, it gives people a lot of expectations to live up to.
mm,
It gives people a lot of expectations of a product and of the service of that product. And if you aren't choosing the products you align with well as an influencer, you could be misleading a lot of people, couldn't you?
yeah. I mean, I don't think I'd like to think, and then again, that's a positive person in me who doesn't want to think that anyone's actively recommending something knowingly. It's not great, but I'll get paid for it. I mean, those people probably do exist, and I'm not saying that everyone is an influencer
I
does
just was
exist.
reading yesterday um, about Robbie, like, just, yeah, take a big celeb, Robbie Williams, you know. If he loves your product, you probably couldn't get a better influencer, could you? And yet he is now he's admitted to being on an SLP drug like Mounjaro or Ozempic or whatever one. And but he was taking that while he was the ambassador for Weight Watchers. And Weight Watchers had paid him, and it was in the pay. He was actually talking about it in this interview.
I mean, at
And
least he was honest.
yeah, he said it. He said, I can talk about it now. He said I couldn't at the time because I was still taking their money. But he took £1 million to be like a WW ambassador whilst using slimming injections, which are actually making him blind. He now believes.
Yeah, I saw that.
But anyway, but that's another whole thing.
Well,
But
it's hard though, but how do you, I think, again, that's my article, like, how do you recommend, how do you know you're spotting an
yeah,
influencer versus an expert?
yeah,
And again, like, it's $1 million question, but I'd like to think that it's because you've done your due diligence. It's because we've maybe made you a bit more of a critical
yeah,
thinker, that you've took
yeah.
a step back and you've
Oh,
gone, hang on a minute,
still
is
coming.
this just is this just because, everyone is doing it, therefore I must do it? Who wants that? Who
Yeah,
needs to be keeping up with the Joneses? And we're all individuals and we all want to feel special, yet we all want to be the same.
yeah,
So I think it's about taking time, and experts are the ones who have done the work solidly, unknowingly, grafted to be able to help and give you those answers and actually champion for you to have that.
yeah.
I've always said that it's a kind of an age-old thing, like with as being an educator, that if I was had this with a student recently, I want you to be better than me. I
Hmm.
don't want to be better than you and keep you under. I
Yeah,
want you to excel.
yeah,
That makes me a better educator by being able to push you and see your potential. And
mm,
I think really that is a strong difference between an influencer and an expert. An influencer is
yeah.
just wanting to be able to control your decisions, to be able
I
to
know. Sorry.
to be able to you know be in control of your purchases and selling things and things like that. Whereas an expert will probably help you build your own,
Yeah, and
that
I
would
th- and
help
I think
you,
this is.
yeah, make money yourself.
Yeah. And I think as well is that, that whole education piece is like, as people that have, I've educated in the industry, you've educated in the industry. And when I was teaching, I always used to get in trouble for over delivering, because I'd be like, oh no, you really just need this little bit of information, because this is what the book says. But actually, if you just do, not necessarily undermining like the training manual, but from that lived experience and being that expert in that particular thing and being so passionate about it, you have insights. And I think that's what it is, isn't it? An expert can give you insights into um, the subject that they're talking about, whereas an influencer is there as it's a generally a far more superficial position.
Yeah, I'd probably say that we just don't look so pretty
Yeah, maybe.
because we're bogged down and drowning
Yeah,
in all the stuff that we've got to
I've
be
not had
doing.
any needles break my skin. It's like, and nor are they going to, I don't believe at this point. But I think as well, and what you're part of what you're talking about as well is that whole, we want, when I have my students, you want them to excel, you do want them to be amazing. And one of the things when I had my hand surgery, and one of the most fear-inducing things is having your dominant hand operated on in two incisions in one surgery when you are a nail technician is terrifying.
Mhm.
And and after I came back, I decided because I could, it wasn't that I couldn't be better than them, but it wasn't, I couldn't show them how to be better than me. It was like I couldn't show them how to do the job properly because I couldn't get the control of my hand back. And it was, and in the end, I just was like, no, I just can't teach anymore because I can't teach you to have great skills because I can't show you the great skills anymore.
Mm.
And that was a really, really difficult point for me because it is, I don't want to show people how to do things badly. And that's
That is
basically, if
happening.
you ask me to do a pink and white now,
That
I'd
is
probably
happening.
really struggle because I don't have that level of control anymore.
By the way, when I say that is happening, I don't mean that you're teaching bad things.
No, I don't. I don't teach anymore because I made the right choice because I didn't want to be out there pretending to be something that I wasn't. And I think that's the thing, like with me, is that like my integrity always will always hold me back and stop me making something of myself in that way because I can't give people something that isn't authentic
Yeah.
and good. And I
In an
think
AI
that's
generated world as well. That's
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
Because
get
we could all just go, oh yeah, bang, that's how we do now. And actually, no, it's not.
it. Well, but again, to reiterate, that is what is happening.
Yeah.
So, and I would again, I think I get asked how to choose like how do you choose good education? How do you know what you're getting? Well, again, that's $1 million question because
Yeah.
we've got those that have just taught themselves via YouTube and now passing those skills on in the industry, reaffirmed by their following that they've
Yeah.
gained on social media
And but
because
it's
they
one
did a
thing,
trendy thing.
yeah. But it's one thing, isn't it, when it's like, oh, this is how, for example, like just go simple. This is how you do a dotted line with acrylic paint, something really simple, like really basic nail art. If we take that as the foundation, anybody that can pick up a dotting tool and has a practice now or whatever and some acrylic paint can show you how to do that. But when it comes to the chemistry or it comes to the science or it comes to understanding microneedling or whatever it might be, that is an advanced skill or is a skill that could hurt people, we have to look at people's qualifications and we have to look at who they are and what their expert status is. An expert doesn't mean you're the best in the room. Expert doesn't mean that you've achieved everything. You've got 6 books that you've written. That isn't necessarily being an expert, is it?
No, and again, I get tarnished with that as well. And I've also looked into that. Like, are you just a self-proclaimed expert, or are you just
Yeah.
someone? This is again a title, isn't it, or a tagline? But I think you want to keep learning. I am forever, and you again, you know me. I'm delved
Mm.
down into some journal, into some medical piece of documentation. If I don't know the answer, I will find that answer. But I also am not a gatekeeper of secrets. Like I want
No.
everyone to know it. But if I'm going to tell anyone, I've got to be able to back that up.
Mm.
Not going, I'm doing it because everyone else did it, or oh well, I saw it online and I'm now recreating it for you. If I'm telling you, it's because I've done the research on it
Yeah,
to be able to back
it
that
is.
up
And your
and tell you the
research is
why.
quite insane. Your research is insane.
Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Well, no, but the thing is, though, is that, but I know, and anybody that knows you, follows you, will know that if you put a fact out or you make a statement about something, you won't need to apologize for it later because you'll know it's true.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
don't ever expect to see
I
an
definitely
apology
hold
statement
back.
from Theresa.
I hold back more than I on stuff sometimes because yeah, I have to be able to know that I
Mm,
can back that with something.
yeah. But I think as well that there's an element, and whether it's just being female, is that my husband's forever saying to me like, "Oh, you always think you're right," and I'm like, I won't put something out there if I don't think I'm right and don't know I'm right. I won't even bother getting into a debate about it. If there's an element of doubt that I'm going to make myself look silly or foolish or wrong, not going to put it out there.
Here's like kind of another way of looking at it as well. I think again, a personal experience and honest, like honest and raw. I sometimes get asked to help out with situations, online forums. I'll choose to be able to help you with a bit of this advice because I have that information. But depending on the scale of that thread, who's chipped in, what's been
Mm,
said, even actively myself, I sometimes choose not to chip in because I just don't know if I can fix it.
Yeah.
and that's really sad. It's a really sad place to be, that I can't go against the 50 YouTubers, and because my nerdy little bit of science that I've got isn't going to stand out. It's that sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because what you've got in your nerdy little science head is the accurate truth.
Mm.
And the 50
It's not as
YouTubers,
glamorous. It's not as
it
fun.
isn't as glamorous. But I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is that and if you look at it in the cold hard light of day, influencers generally are the shiny, buzzy, happy, like look at me people on social media. And the experts are the quiet, nerdy science ones that are sitting there, at the
Chipping away.
coal face, doing the job, doing the work, and doing things very quietly behind the scenes. And like, we've had the conversation many times, haven't we, about, and even like, if you go to the special, if you go specialist to expert and all that kind of stuff, and the coaching and all of these names that social media puts on people's shoulders, and a lot of it is social media putting words out there, like coach and mentor and specialist and expert and influencer, all of those. I shy away from it because I find it uncomfortable. I don't want to be that person. um and I think we have to understand that that sort of that specialist thing isn't always the best title to have. And both you and I mean, your title of your column is a generalist, and we both have got so many different layers to the stuff that we do. And we've had this conversation that really we both are generalists. We both know a lot of stuff about a lot of things,
Yeah, I
some
took
more.
proper, it was my other half that actually told me about that
Yeah,
tagline, and I took real offense. I'm like, oh, like it
yeah,
didn't have any importance, and that was just a bit of a someone who did a bit jack of all trades. And I
yeah,
took, and then he actually, bless him, pitched it to me he worked at a very large club at that time, and kind of pitched it to me as how that was built into that club. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I did a bit of research.
yeah,
Of course I did. And went off and had a look at that, and actually was like, actually, do you know what? Yeah, yeah, I am that. Yeah, I want to be that.
yeah.
Like, I like that. Because it kind of gave me a superpower
Yeah,
versus someone who just knew that one thing. So,
yeah,
yeah, I like the term generalist. So I've
yeah.
kept it.
And
It's mine.
that's it. And you can have that. But I do think it's, the experts are the people that know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. Knowing a lot of stuff about one thing is, to me, is quite mind limiting. I don't know. You know, like you and I, we've both worked in the nail industry for a long time. And I've always diversified, and I've done a lot of other things. And I've been a holistic therapist, I've been a beauty therapist, and everything, and waxing, and I did everything. I was a full service salon, but nails was always still the center of it. And it didn't make it, and then you do get people that literally all they do all day is nails. But does it make them better at nails? I was always a really good salon tech. I didn't want to be the best nail tech in the world. That wasn't me. And I prefer having variety. And it is, and maybe it's just mindset things as well, and just how our brains tick. But just having lots of elements that go through our world. I've probably got far too
But
many elements to
there's
go
a
through
lot of
mine.
things that contribute to that one service. Like eventually I managed to become I hate that word, just a nail technician. I did manage that eventually, but had I have not gone through all my other experiences of doing beauty and
Yeah,
all the other broad spectrums of that, would that have made me a good nail technician at the time? Was I the queen of nails? Of course I wasn't. I was good at it. I think I'm still good at it.
yeah,
But like, I mean, it's grown a lot in that time now. I think there's a lot more underpinning stuff from just painting a nail.
yeah,
And we do lack that. And we spend more time with the influencers telling us what's shiny and glittery and what we need, and less time with the experts that have give
yeah,
us the underpinning knowledge that we really need. And again, if I can quality over quantity every darn time. So
yeah,
I'm on the expert table versus the influencer table. Go with the experts. They're quieter. They'll give you that nugget of information, and they might
yeah.
upskill and leave the ladder down for 10,
I
whereas the
was literally just
influencers,
going to say that. Leave the ladder down. You read
but
my mind.
but for those 10 and make
Mm,
creme de la creme.
yeah,
And then you've got your influencers who are going to try and bosh a load out at a million and it just
yeah,
be okay.
yeah.
I'm not here for that.
No. And I think we just need to recognise, don't we, that when if someone's there quietly chugging away, they're probably more likely going to bring benefit to your world
Yeah,
than,
you become the people that you are with, right?
yeah,
Like yeah, rubbing shoulders with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't tend to attract the shiny
No.
influencery people. Don't get me wrong,
No.
I watch.
And
I'm a
I
good watcher. I'm a
definitely
good
don't.
stalker, but
Yeah.
they not tend to be my people. They're not my people, and I don't want them people. They're not
No.
my people.
No, this is it, and I do think as well. There's probably like an age and generational thing to it as well, isn't there? And you know
Yeah.
that and I suppose because we've grown through those phases of being so excited by the whole thing, we've been there. We've probably been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, got all the videos and DVDs in the cupboard, and we've just decided actually we don't need all that shiny stuff anymore. How many? I mean, yeah, fortunately it is not in my new office, but I've still got a bag of mine now like I bought in 2002 when I first qualified. Because
Vintage,
you just
darling.
get, I know
It'll
it's so
come back in
bad.
fashion. Don't worry.
I know I don't use it anymore though, so I don't know what to do with it. I've actually got like this is I can't remember where they came from. I've forgotten the lady's name now, and it's in America. But she had all these tiny little like gems made, like, and I've got like lapis lazuli that I could put on my nails, and it was always so precious. I've never used them. They got brought in
We've
by
all done it.
another tech into the UK, and you had to order them via her, and then the other one in America sent it to her, and then she'd dispatch it out. And I've still got those. I've got black onyx and lapis lazuli, and I've never used them because
Just
they
left
were
to it
so
now. She could use them
precious.
elsewhere, you know. So
I know. Maybe they might look quite nice in here somewhere.
there you go.
But anyway, yeah. But I think, we get caught up by, yeah, all of those, like that was a trend, was like everyone had to have those. And it cost me probably about 20 quid to get these things sent over back in like 2006 or something. Never used them.
The trends just are too quick. Like they're
Yeah,
yesterday's news before they're
yeah,
even reached you sometimes. So I think you have to be quite careful of those trends. Sometimes you just need to be an onlooker and look out the other side to know what's a short trend or something that's going
yeah,
to stick. Let's
yeah,
just say when, to use the analogy for nails, but when nude became the thing, nude stayed for a long time. So,
yeah,
so that wasn't really, that was a movement maybe more than a
yeah,
trend.
yeah, yeah. This is it. I mean,
Um,
the trends tend to be, yeah, things that are like more seasonal,
Fashion,
don't they?
yeah,
That something,
fashionable.
yeah,
Good trend.
something that's been seen on the catwalk or whatever that then translates down and into something that we put on someone's nails, or that we, if you're an MUA, that you might put on their face as makeup
A
or
good
on their
example,
hair.
like the aquarium nails, that was a thing at one
Yeah.
point.
Oh
Like, and
God.
actually, that was a skill set.
Yeah, that's
If you
massive.
could do that, it was a skill set. And that I think I probably attacked that in that way at that time. A bit of fun, and I did it. And everyone where the salon was at that time was like, "Oh my God!" Like it blew
Yeah.
everyone's minds. But it by far was not something that I was be making business out of. But I used it
No.
to bolster my
Yeah.
business, to
Yeah.
show my skills.
Yeah.
I can do.
And to show your expert status to your local community.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing as well, is that, we need to work out whether we're an influencer or an expert for the people that we're trying to sell our skills to.
Mm.
But I remember those aquarium. Now, we had the first time I ever saw them, I was at a competition in Dublin. I can't when this girl registered her a showcase box, and she'd created. I mean, I know exactly how she did it, but she'd created bubbles that were like golf ball size that all had aquariums in them. It was honestly, it was amazing, and I can tell you how she did. If you need to know how she did it, I can tell you how she did it. But
Probably not going to do it again, just saying, but
it was amazing, and she had all these bubbles coming off of these. No, it was fantastic. I've never seen anything like it, and we asked her how she did it, and it's so simple. So if you ever
mm.
want to know how to do that for one of your like for something,
Yeah, I think most days are done now.
okay, yeah, no, my days of that are very very done. I don't think I even have the right products in my kit anymore to do that. No. Anyway, let's leave that there. And what was so we're just in the process of building for the January edition. Do you know what you're writing about yet?
I've got about three things that
Oh,
I know, and then I dip in and I dip out, and then I'm like, no, I'm not that one. But I do, yes, because I decided I
okay.
wanted something actionable. Why are we going to start a new? I don't want that new year, new me, new you, new business. Like now,
Yeah.
now it doesn't have to be a new year. But I did want something that I could then maybe pick, that the readers could use,
Yes.
and without having to work more, without having to hire more, without having to really do more. It's just something that you can already put into your business. So I'm not going to tell you what it is because you have to subscribe.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done. So
Okay.
that is coming.
I know. I'll be looking forward to doing the edits on it. and having a look and doing all the layout. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, Theresa, and we will see you again for next quarter's little chat.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.